But Donna wasn't finished. Last month, he asked me about my engagement ring. Not because he wanted to propose with it, but because he wanted to know what it meant to me when his father gave it to me. He wanted to understand what a ring symbolizes to a woman beyond just the jewelry. Donna, Taylor whispered. But the older woman held up her hand. I'm telling you this because I need you to know how serious he is about you. Not just the fun parts, not just the excitement of dating Taylor Swift, but the real parts. The parts where you're sick with the flu and not glamorous. The parts where you have creative crises and need someone to just listen. The parts where you're 80 years old and your knees hurt, and you can't remember where you put your glasses. Taylor was crying now. Not the dramatic sobs of earlier, but quiet tears that came from a place of overwhelming gratitude and love. He talks about you the way I always hoped one of my sons would talk about the woman he wanted to spend his life with, Donna continued. Like you're not just his girlfriend, but like you're his family, like your home. I feel the same way about him. Taylor managed to say through her tears. I know you do, honey. I can see it in how you look at him, how you fit into our family, how you worry about him the same way I do. But I also know that your life is complicated in ways that most people can't understand. And I worry that sometimes you might think you're too much for him, or that this world is too much for him. Taylor nodded because Donna had hit on one of her deepest fears. Donna reached out and took both Taylor's in her hands, saying, So, I need you to know that my son doesn't just love you despite the complications. They are the reason he loves you. He adores your exceptional qualities. He adores your talent, ambition, and ability to make a difference in the world. He doesn't want you to shrink so he can feel more powerful. He aspires to be deserving of standing next to someone as amazing as you. I'm at a loss for words, Donna. It is not necessary for you to speak. I just wanted you to know that this isn't just some celebrity romance for him, especially after today, and witnessing how terrified we both were. In his heart, you are more than just his girlfriend. He already has you as his wife. His future children already have you as their mother. He already wants to spend his old age with you. A nurse emerged in the waiting room doorway before Taylor could reply. Mr. Kelce, Mrs. Kelce, and Miss Swift are awake and requesting your presence. The journey to Travis's room along the hospital hallway seemed both too brief and never-ending. Taylor was trying to comprehend the depth of Travis's feelings and what they meant for their future, and her mind was racing with what Donna had just told her. Travis was sitting up in bed, looking pale and exhausted but awake when they walked into his room. He winced a little at the movement, but his face brightened when he saw them. How are you feeling? Like I got hit by a truck, but the doctors say I'm going to be fine. He murmured to Taylor in a soft voice. Hey, beautiful, he added. Sorry I scared you. Don't you dare apologize, Taylor responded, rushing straight to his bedside and grasping his hand. No long-term harm. Just need to rest for a few days. Thank God, Donna said, kissing his forehead. You took 10 years off my life today. As they talked about the game, the injury, and Travis's recovery timeline, Taylor noticed that Travis seemed more focused. Somehow, more intentional in the way he was looking at her. She wondered if it was just the concussion making him more emotional, or if something deeper had changed. Later that evening, when Donna was getting ready to leave for the night, she asked Taylor to grab them some coffee from the machine down the hall. The moment Taylor left the room, Donna moved closer to Travis's bed. Travis, I need to confess something to you, she said quietly. Taylor, she was so distraught and scared today. I felt like I needed to say something to comfort her. So I told her about your plans, about the ring, about your future dreams. I told her everything. Travis smiled weakly. It's okay, Mom. I'm not mad that you spoiled the surprise. Maybe it was something we both needed to hear. When Taylor returned with the coffees, Donna hugged her and said, I love you both, before leaving them alone. Once they were alone in the room, Taylor settled into the chair beside Travis's bed. It was Travis who broke the silence. Mom talked to me before she left, Travis said, his voice still slightly. About what? Taylor asked, feeling a wave of anxiety. She told me what she said to you, Travis said. About the ring, about my plans for our future. She felt bad about spoiling the surprise. Taylor's cheeks burned with embarrassment. Travis, I swear I didn't ask. Taylor, stop. Travis interrupted gently. I'm not upset. Honestly, I'm grateful. Grateful. Travis shifted in his bed so he could see her better, despite the dizziness the movement caused. "I've been carrying this ring around for 3 months, Taylor, just trying to find the right moment. That perfect romantic moment that would be worthy of you." Taylor's breath caught. "The ring, you have it with you?" "Yes," Travis said. "And you know what's ironic? I had planned for that perfect moment to be tonight after we won the game in the middle of all the celebration. I was going to ask you then." "The ring was in my bag at the stadium." Travis winced in pain as he reached toward his bedside table. "When I was unconscious, they brought my belongings and bag to the room. I asked the nurse to help me get this out of my bag just a little while ago." Travis opened the drawer and pulled out a small velvet box that made Taylor's heart stop completely. "This isn't how I planned to do this," he said, his voice shaking slightly. "I wanted to be healthy, to be able to get down on one knee properly, to give you the romantic proposal you deserve." "Travis, you don't have to." "Yes, I do," he said firmly, "because today showed me that we're not guaranteed tomorrow. Today showed me that life is fragile and unpredictable, and if something had happened to me, if that hit had been worse, you would never have known how completely and totally I am in love with you." He opened the box, revealing a stunning oval-cut diamond that caught the light from the hospital room's fluorescent fixtures and somehow still managed to look magical. "Taylor Allison Swift," Travis uttered in a firm tone despite his evident distress. "Will you marry me? Will you be my wife and my family and my forever person?"
When Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce first crossed paths, nobody could have predicted how much their relationship would capture the world's attention. It started as a playful, pop culture crossover, one of the NFL's biggest stars shooting his shot with the world's most famous pop star, and turned into a real-life love story that fans can't stop talking about. But now, after months of romance, public appearances, and major milestones, the question everyone is asking is, are Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce ready to have children? And recently, Taylor herself finally opened up about it, leaving fans emotional, surprised, and more curious than ever. It all began when Taylor and Travis started showing up everywhere together. From Kansas City Chiefs games to Taylor's sold-out Eras tour, the couple's chemistry was undeniable. They weren't just dating, they were living in each other's worlds. Travis was flying out to see her perform across continents, while Taylor was showing up in red and gold to cheer him on during big NFL games. And while the internet loved the photos, the interviews, and the sweet gestures, what fans really wanted to know was, how serious are they? For a long time, Taylor avoided answering questions about her personal life, especially when it came to family or future plans. But during a recent intimate interview, she broke her silence and got more honest than ever. When the topic of children came up, Taylor smiled, and according to those present, her answer said more than words ever could. She admitted that as her relationship with Travis deepens, the idea of having a family one day doesn't seem as distant as it once did. Taylor said, "I used to think I wasn't built for the kind of family life you see in movies. But now I see it differently. Love changes your perspective." That single quote sent shockwaves across the internet. For someone who has written countless songs about heartbreak, independence, and the struggle to balance fame with real emotion, Taylor's words felt deeply personal, like she was revealing a part of her heart that had always been guarded. Travis Kelce, on his end, hasn't been shy about his feelings either. He's often spoken about how he's ready for whatever the future brings, and that includes the possibility of settling down. In a previous interview, Travis hinted that he's at a point in his life where he's looking for something real, lasting, and grounded. Fans took that as a sign that he wasn't just dating for fun. He was thinking long-term, and Taylor might be the one. Those close to the couple say that both Taylor and Travis have had serious conversations about family in the future. They've even talked about what kind of parents they'd be. Taylor, who grew up in a close-knit family with her parents Scott and Andrea Swift, has always talked about the importance of love, support, and stability. Travis, too, shares a strong bond with his family. His mother, Donna Kelce, has become a fan favorite herself, especially after being seen cheering for Taylor and Travis together during games. That family-oriented mindset seems to bring Taylor and Travis even closer. One insider even revealed that Taylor feels safe for the first time in a long time. She's dated high-profile people before, but none of them gave her the sense of balance that Travis does. He's confident but humble, supportive but independent, and he doesn't shy away from the spotlight. Instead, he shares it with her. For Taylor, that balance is everything. She reportedly told friends that Travis makes her feel like she can finally have both love and peace, and that peace has opened up the door for deeper conversations, including the topic of children. While Taylor didn't confirm any immediate plans, she admitted that the thought of becoming a mom someday isn't as scary as it once was. She said she's learning to imagine what it would be like to raise kids while still creating music, touring, and living her passion, something she once thought was impossible. But for someone like Taylor, whose life has been under the spotlight since her teenage years, the idea of motherhood brings a whole new level of scrutiny. Fans and media outlets instantly began speculating. Could Taylor really take a break from music to start a family? Would she ever step away from the stage for good? Well, according to people close to her, she doesn't plan on giving up music, but she has been thinking about slowing down. One source said, Taylor wants to build a future that's not always moving from one city to another. She's been living out of suitcases for nearly 2 decades. She loves what she does, but she's also craving something stable. And that's where Travis comes in. His world, though also high profile, is very different. He plays for Kansas City, a city he loves, and lives a more settled life when he's not traveling for games. He's built a home, a career, and a strong support system. Those close to the couple say Taylor has found comfort in that rhythm. She spent more time in Kansas City recently, and insiders claim she's even talked about the idea of building a home base there with Travis someday. When fans noticed that Taylor had recently been spotted looking at houses in the Midwest, rumors spread that she might be preparing for a quieter chapter in her life, maybe even family life. While neither Taylor nor Travis confirmed anything, it's clear they're thinking ahead. During the same interview, Taylor was also asked if she ever imagined herself as a mother back when she first started her career. She laughed and said, "Back then, I thought my career would be my child. And in many ways, it still is. But now I realize life has different chapters. You can love your art and still make space for other kinds of love too." That moment was both tender and powerful. It reminded fans that Taylor has grown not just as an artist, but as a woman who's ready for more. And what about Travis? Sources close to the NFL star say he's completely smitten. He reportedly told friends that Taylor would make the best mom because of how kind, nurturing, and grounded she is. Those who know him best also say he's been more open about his dreams lately. Not just about winning championships, but about building something real with Taylor. During one podcast, he joked about needing a bigger house someday, and fans instantly connected the dots. But of course, with fame comes pressure. As soon as Taylor's comments about children went viral, social media exploded with theories. Some fans believed the couple might already be planning for the future, while others urged people to give them space. After all, Taylor has always been careful about what she shares publicly. So if she's opening up now, it likely means the relationship has reached a level of trust and seriousness that few of her past ones ever did. Despite the excitement, Taylor also addressed the difficulty of balancing public love with private dreams. She said, "The more people watch, the more you protect what's real. There are things I'll never share, because they belong to just us. That quote made it clear that while she's comfortable talking about the idea of family, she still wants to keep the most personal details private. And that's something fans truly respect. Still, fans can't help but imagine what the future might look like. Many have even joked online about how amazing it would be if their future children inherited Taylor's musical talent and Travis's athleticism. The ultimate superstar combo. Memes and fan edits flooded TikTok and Twitter, showing imagined versions of baby Swift Kelce, and even baby jerseys and microphones. But beneath the humor, there's a genuine sense of happiness among fans who feel like they've watched Taylor finally find her version of true love. It's worth remembering that Taylor has been through a lot, from very public breakups to endless tabloid speculation. She's had to rebuild her trust and protect her peace again and again. But with Travis, she seems different, lighter, happier, and more at ease. Even her friends have noticed. Several insiders have shared that Taylor's circle sees a real future here. One source said, "She talks about him with a glow. She's not daydreaming, she's grounded, she's thinking long term, and the feeling seems mutual." Travis has spoken about how much respect he has for Taylor's drive, work ethic, and independence. He loves that she's built an empire on her own terms, and he's not intimidated by it. In fact, he supports it fully. During one recent podcast, when asked about being with someone as famous as Taylor Swift, Travis simply smiled and said, "If you're with someone like that, you just gotta let them shine and be proud to stand next to them." That statement melted fans' hearts and reinforced the idea that this couple is built on mutual respect. So when Taylor opened up about having children, it didn't sound like a tabloid fantasy. It sounded like a woman who's finally ready to imagine that next step. Whether it happens soon or years from now, she's clearly found someone who makes the thought of family feel possible and joyful. For now, Taylor and Travis are still living their best lives, balancing their busy careers while making time for each other whenever they can. They've been spotted at games, concerts, and quiet dinners, often looking relaxed and genuine. And even though they're one of the most famous couples in the world, they're doing their best to keep things real. At the end of the day, Taylor's honesty about children wasn't just a headline. It was a window into a new chapter. She's not that young girl writing love songs about fairy tales anymore. She's a grown woman who's lived through the highs and lows of love, fame, and heartbreak. And now, she's ready to dream about a future that's rooted in something deeper. So while fans may have to wait a little longer to see what's next for Tay,
Will you let me spend the rest of my life proving that my mom was right? That you're not just my girlfriend, you're my home? Taylor asked, barely able to see the ring through her tears. But she could clearly see Travis's face and everything Donna had told her. She saw the life he had been dreaming of, the future he had been planning, and the love he had been too afraid to truly express until a football injury compelled him to do so. She said yes, first softly and then more loudly. Yes, of course, yes. With hands trembling a little from emotion and the lingering effects of the concussion, Travis placed the ring on her finger. Taylor was kissing him, mindful of his wounds but unable to control her happiness. She kissed him and said, "I love you. I'm eager to become your wife since I adore you so much." Travis answered, "I love you too, and I can assure you that we will organize the most amazing wedding as soon as I am discharged from this hospital." However, what transpired next would become a family legend. For the remainder of their lives, they would recite this tale at every anniversary and family get-together. At that very time, a nurse who had been checking on Travis every hour entered the room. She glanced at Taylor's ring on her finger and her tear-streaked face. Without missing a beat, she said, "Well, it's about time. I've been working this word for 15 years, and I've never seen anyone look at someone the way you two look at each other." 6 months later, Donna Kelce would be the one to walk Taylor down the aisle, as Travis and Taylor exchanged vows in a ceremony that combined her love of storytelling with his love of family customs. Taylor and Travis agreed that Donna had been the one who had made their marriage possible by having the guts to tell the truth about love when it mattered most. Not because her father wasn't present. Jason was the first person Travis called after being released from the hospital the following morning, with severe instructions to rest for 2 weeks. Travis said, "Hey, big brother," in a feeble but joyful voice. "I need to tell you something. How are you feeling, man? That hit looked terrible on TV. I'm okay. Concussion, but I'll be fine. But that's not why I'm calling." Travis paused and turned to face Taylor, who was seated next to him in their car. The morning light catches her engagement ring. "Last night I proposed to Taylor." Travis believed the call had ended because there was so much silence on the other end of the line. When Jason finally responded, Travis could sense the smile in his voice. "Jason, you there? You proposed to Taylor Swift in a hospital room. It wasn't planned that way, but yeah. And she said yes, and she said yes. Well, I'll be damned. Leave it to you to turn a concussion into a proposal story. Mom's going to lose her mind when she hears this. She already knows. She's the reason it happened." When they got home that afternoon, Travis immediately called his father, who cried on the phone. Then Taylor called her parents, who also cried. Then they called Taylor's publicist, who had a minor panic attack about announcing an engagement so soon after a head injury, but ultimately agreed that the story was too beautiful not to share. But the most important call was the one Donna made to her sister, Linda, Travis's aunt, who had always been skeptical about his relationship with Taylor. "Linda," Donna said, unable to keep the joy out of her voice, "you're not going to believe what happened." "What now?" "Travis proposed to Taylor last night in the hospital after his concussion." "He did what? In a hospital room? That boy has lost his mind." "No, Linda, I think he finally found it." And she said, "Yes." The silence on Linda's end was telling. She'd been the family member who worried most about Travis getting too deep, too fast with someone as famous and complicated as Taylor Swift, but something about the romance and spontaneity of a hospital room proposal seemed to change her perspective. "You know what?" At last Linda remarked, "Well done for them." "I keep looking at my ring," Taylor said, raising her hand to catch the light from their bedside lamp. "Any regrets about accepting a proposal from a concussed football player in a hospital room? If they can find love in a hospital room after a head injury, they can probably handle anything life throws at them." That evening, as Travis and Taylor went to bed early per the doctor's orders, they discussed their future with a clarity and certainty that neither of them had ever experienced before. Travis asked, pulling her closer. "None whatsoever," Taylor said firmly. "You know what I keep thinking about?" "What, your mom? What she said to me in that waiting room about how you talk about me like, I'm already your family. You are my family. You have been for a long time. I know that now. But before today, I think I was still waiting for the other shoe to drop, still expecting you to realize that my life is too complicated, or too public, or too much." Travis turned to face her fully. "Taylor, your life isn't too much. Your life is exactly the right amount of everything. The complications, the success, the attention, all of it. That's not stuff I have to tolerate to be with you. That's stuff I get to be part of because I'm with you." "I love you," Taylor said, and she meant it in a way that felt deeper and more complete than ever before. "I love you too, and in a few months I get to call you my wife. Mrs. Kelce has a nice ring to it, doesn't it?" Taylor remarked as she tested the sound. They fell asleep that night planning their wedding, their voices getting quieter and more sleepy as they talked about venues and guest lists, and whether they wanted a spring or summer ceremony. But the last thing Travis said before drifting off was something that would stick with Taylor forever. "Thank you for saying yes, even though I couldn't get down on one knee." "Travis," Taylor whispered back, "you've been down on one knee for me every day since we met. The ring was just a formality. What do you think about this incredible story of how a scary injury led to the most honest conversation about love and the perfect proposal? Have you ever had a moment of crisis that made you realize what really mattered in your relationship? Share your thoughts about how sometimes the worst moments can lead to the most beautiful outcomes. Because love has a way of finding its perfect timing, even in the most unexpected circumstances. The ring Travis gave Taylor that night wasn't just a piece of jewelry. It was a symbol of everything Donna had told her in that hospital waiting room. That real love doesn't wait for perfect moments. It creates them. And sometimes the most beautiful proposals happen in hospital rooms with fluorescent lighting and the smell of antiseptic in the air. Because love doesn't need the perfect setting to be perfect. If this story touched your heart and reminded you that the most important conversations about love often happen in the most unexpected places, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more untold stories about how celebrities navigate the real moments that define their relationships. Because sometimes the most beautiful love stories are the ones that begin with someone's mother having the courage to speak the truth about what love really looks like.